Hey everyone, this is Dr. Paul Martin with Brain Life Chiropractic, and right now you're looking at my feet. I do a couple videos like this every now and again because, feet are the base of our support. Uh, they, they control all kinds of things, and I am someone who used to be very flat-footed, like I had no arch support, no arches right through here, and that was combated by using orthotics, because the orthotics would shove an arch into here, and then that would provide more of the what's considered to be the proper way that the feet are supposed to work. And it took care of a lot of my knee pain and my back pain by doing it that way, but not all of it. And so, interesting. I had a patient come in the other day. They were talking about plantar fasciitis. So plantar fasciitis is something that does afflict quite a few people. Plantar fascia comes from the heel here, connects to the fascia covering the heel, and then it spreads through the foot to go even into the toes. And it's typified by pain that starts usually right in here, worse in the morning because it's had a chance to tighten up through the night. And you can sometimes work it out just by stepping, but it gets very painful, tough to stand for long periods of time. And I just really painful. I had my first symptoms of plantar fasciitis when I was in the third grade myself. And so the answer is not more arch support, I don't think. For some people, it can provide some relief, but it doesn't actually solve the problem, So what's the problem? What's going on here? The problem is that when we wear shoes that have arch support, and most shoes do, like all normal shoes that you would wear, have arch support, and so they take the stress away from your arch. Well, what happens when that happens is that you have muscles that go in here and support the arch and hold it up and allow the foot to move normally, because all of these bones are supposed to move. And so if you have support here that takes that away and you stand all the time, then you are taking away the work that it has to do, which sounds like a good idea on the surface, but actually is not, because then what happens is it gets weak. If it gets weak, your arch will fall a little bit. You rely on that support, and then if you ever walk around barefoot, your foot doesn't have the strength to actually support you. And then what happens is the plantar fascia gets stressed. As it gets stressed, you get these little micro tears, and that causes a lot of pain and inflammation, which we then call plantar fasciitis. So how do you deal with that? Well, for me, I went a little bit too full on into barefoot shoes. Excuse me. And I jumped into barefoot shoes. I went for too much of a run at first, and caused a lot of foot pain for me. I got over it, but I don't recommend that as a usual pattern. So instead, what I recommend is something called the short foot exercise to get started, and then gradually transition to not wearing shoes as much. So the short foot exercise goes like this. You've got the ball of your foot, and you've got the heel, and what you want is you want to shorten this area here, and the way to do that is you get on the ground here. Okay, I'm going to see if I can't show this off. Okay, get on the ground here, and then you want to try and shorten that foot. I'm almost pulling my toes in, but the idea is that we're trying to shorten right through here. Trying to take this and move it that way. You don't want to just pull your toes up. That does do this, but it doesn't activate this muscle as well. So you want to try and work on doing that. Almost curling your toes, but you don't necessarily want to like curl your toes underneath. It's more like you want to like keep that straight. If I can show you with my hand. So you're not doing this, and you're not doing this. What you want to do is you want to try and curl this way, okay? If that makes sense. So do that with your foot. And there's two ways to do this one. You can do it and you can hold for like 30 seconds. That improves the strength and the endurance of the muscle. And the way to develop the neurological control is you do it, let it go. Do it, let it go. You can do this sitting or standing. And I recommend doing it a couple of times a day. Both of those. So you want to do both the one where you are doing it and holding, and get up to 30 seconds, and then you want to also do the one where you do it and let go. Do it and let go. And you can do this with one leg, or you can do it with both at the same time. Sitting is easier than standing. Standing puts some weight on your arch, and when you have weight on your arch, then of course then your arch has to work a little harder. I love this exercise. I learned it in chiropractic school. I've been teaching it to people for a while, and it helps a lot. May not take care of everything. And then the other thing, of course, is get your feet adjusted. A lot of times plantar fasciitis will show up because the calcaneus has shifted because of poor foot mechanics for a long period of time and bad shoes like high-heeled shoes and all that. And so get your foot adjusted. Calcaneus and the talus can be big problems when it comes to this. Also, the metatarsal phalangeal joints, what can lead in ultimately into a bunion formation. needs to get adjusted. So all kinds of stuff in the foot can help with that. So get adjusted. Try this exercise out. Let me know how it goes. But this is one way to help deal with plantar fasciitis. So this is just one more video on how to live a brilliant life. So remember, you deserve a brilliant life. Let it shine. Bye, feet.